are you? I am back, and today I am showing you a guitar that is not exactly common to find here in North America. It is a guitar called Vintage V100 Distressed Tobacco Sunburst. Alright, so let's talk about this guitar real quick. This is a UK-based brand, Vintage. Even though the brand is called Vintage, it has nothing to do with whether the guitar being vintage or not. Although coincidentally, this particular guitar I'm showing you today has the distressed relic look that is commonly understood as vintage, but it's not. It is a brainchild of a gentleman named Trevor Wilkinson. I don't know if that guy has anything to do with the Wilkinson tremolo, maybe, but don't quote me on it. Anyhow, so the guy designed this guitar, the whole brand, and that's all, again, his brainchild. And there's another brand called Fret King, which is this kind of same thing. They make, now that brand makes like the Strats or what have you. So I've gotten to know about this brand from Winter NAMM shows and like the guitar magazines from England that I look at. And the brand has like a really cheap knockoff guitars, right? Like the Peter Green guitar or the Lemon Drop Les Paul. All those that look exactly the same as the real thing, but at like 1/10 of the cost. So anyhow, let's talk about this. Okay, so this is model V100, which sports the set neck. V99 has the bolt-on, I believe. And this model, with the distressed relic look, sells for $499 here. If you get the V100 that's got the regular finish, the shiny coat and whole 9 yards, it actually costs less. It's a $399. And I'll talk about the pros and cons in a bit. So this guitar, when you look at it, obviously there's no secret what this guitar is trying to look like. It's obviously a Les Paul knockoff. It's got mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, which, by the way, the rosewood on this fretboard looks extremely dark. It's got the flame maple top with the, like I said, the burst going on here. There's no one shiny coat that is applied here because it's, again, trying to look like relic the instrument, like it's been worn out, worn in, or whatever. So I've always felt that I wouldn't buy a brand new guitar that comes with the relic look because I'm paying hard-earned dollars to get a guitar and I don't want it to look all fucked up, and if anybody's gonna fuck it up, I want it to be me. But I took a different stance. I kind of took a risk too because this guitar I bought it sight unseen. It's a brand that I am not familiar with. It's not something you walk into Guitar Center and take a look at. So a little bit risky. On top of that, this was my first guitar that I bought that has the whole relic look. So I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And here goes my opinion, right? So guitar itself is a one solid instrument. $399, $499, that's right in the ballpark of a mid-level Epiphone Les Pauls. It's not Epi Special or Epi 100 at the cheap end. Or it's not Epi Ultra at the higher end, right? So it's like right in the middle. Epi Standard maybe, even Epi Custom, dare I say. And also it's right in the price range ballpark of Agile guitars. So I tell you what, how does it compare to Epiphone? That's a tough call. Both are made in China. I can just tell you this is a very solid guitar. And in some respect, I like it more than my Epiphone Custom. Compared to Agile, which is actually even more in the ballpark of price, this guitar hands down, beats Agile guitars by huge margin. I own an Agile Les Paul that is about 10 years old. This was before the lawsuit, so it actually looks like a Les Paul. It doesn't have the fucked up bottom horn. And headstock that actually looks a little bit more like the real thing. And that Agile sounds awesome. You know, since then I've outfitted with the DiMarzio PAF pickups and such. So I love that Agile. But the modern day Agile, I don't know what happened or when it happened, but the quality control is definitely not there. And I noticed the guitars are definitely not as nice as they used to be. So comparing this to the modern day Agile, I definitely take a vintage V100 models over Agile any day. And I've had them all, so I know. So, so only thing about this guitar, which I want to talk about, which I don't like. By the way, whenever I cut these guitar videos, I notice that I say, I like the guitar a lot. Every guitar that I do video on, I say, I like it. And here's the reason why. Unlike other guys that are showing you guitars on YouTube, I don't get sponsored. Obviously, it's obvious why no one will sponsor me, because I'm just a regular Joe and I'm a hobby player, and I'm not, you know, I'm a hobby player, full-time collector. So, you know, it's obvious why no one sponsors me guitars to review, and, you know, and I'm not looking for one, so it's okay. So every guitar that I'm showing you guys, I pay for it. So by the time I get around to buying something, that means I like it enough to buy it, right? So that's why, you know, all the guitars that I'm showing you, usually I say I like it. You know, there have been a couple iffy guitars in the past, even though at the time that I liked it, but as time goes by, I'm not so in love with particular instrument. You know, for instance, the Dean Dimeback Razorback V, that thing turned out to be a piece of shit. And I can't even sell it. I can't even give it away because it's got such horrible resale value. So anyhow, that's neither here nor there. So I like this guitar. Now, parts that I don't like, I will talk about that right now. So the whole distressed look thing, right? Well, I'm not sure if it's done really well. I love the whole relicing process that Fender does, whether it's a Fender US Custom or Fender Mexican guitars. I love the way they look, right? They look like they're done right. They almost look authentic, as if they're aged properly. Whereas this thing, it's kind of weird. It's been distressed, but it doesn't look like it's authentically aged. Well, obviously it's not authentically aged, but it doesn't look like it's been. So I'll show you. Here's the neck. You see the neck's been kind of beaten down, probably like a steel wool that went up and down. Here's a little belt buckle rash that they try to mimic. And like around the edges, you see this kind of thing where they try to make it look like guitar has been used a lot. And right here, you see like forearm contour right here, as if the forearm rubbed against it. So there's a little bit of that. Only problem here is this right here doesn't feel like it's been, you know, beaten down by the arm or years of playing. It just looks like it's just been unfinished. They just did the bursting right here around the edge, and then they just skipped over this part to make it look like it's been, you know, worn down. So it's really not uniform, the look of relicing, right? And, you know, they paid, you know, attention to detail in some areas, like the binding is very yellow, so it looks like it's been around for a while. And you like this L bracket that holds the pickguard, that thing's been scratched up. The stop tail bridge over here has been scratched up. Two-nomatic bridge has been scratched up. So it looks like it's been used, and yet the pickup covers are brand new. So the pickup covers don't show anywhere at all. And the knobs don't show anywhere at all either. They're brand new knobs. So the whole process is just not uniform, and that's kind of what, you know, counts, you know, against, you know, the whole thing for me. And, you know, like the worn out headstock right here, it looks all good. And the way the headstock tapers off, that also looks very official, like the Gibson Les Paul. So that all looks great. It's just it's just not quite there. It's something is just, somebody screwed up somewhere and it's just not quite there. That's what I don't like. So it's if you're thinking about getting the V100, I definitely say save the $100 and get the $399 model that has the glossy, shiny coat and that comes as a brand new guitar, not the whole relic look. So that's that, and you know, I love the vintage type of tuners, appearance of it anyways. And though I'm not quite sure if I like this green, you know, the tuner pegs there. The green I can do away with, but you know, whatever. So speaking of the tuners, some of these are okay, but the one in particular, the 3rd string tuner, the G string tuner, is a little iffy on this particular guitar. There is very little room for an error here. If I loosen the peg a little bit, then it goes totally flat. Tightening it down just a little bit takes it all the way to sharp. So for me to get it in tune, it takes complete fine tuning, and yet I don't know if it's the gearing inside or whatnot, but finding that sweet spot is just so damn hard. So I'm sure when I was doing a little noodling earlier, I'm sure that string was out of tune, or maybe some of the other ones. So I cannot exactly say the guitar stays in tune well. So that, and what else? But you know, set that aside, I mean, this guitar is a proper instrument. It feels right. It feels like a Les Paul. The 6T is a slim neck. It feels great in my hand. I kind of don't like the whole 50s baseball bat anyways. My dog's barking, excuse me. And you know, set aside from the relicking thing, it looks great. It plays great. The pickups, in my opinion, have a little too much bite. I believe I'll be changing these out later, but the pickups designed by Trevor Wilkinson. Again, the whole hardware is all Trevor Wilkinson thing. So, good or bad, you know, that's what that is. And you know, fret jobs, very nice. Neck straight, even, no rough frets, everything. There is no buzzing out of the box. So you know, for $399, or I'll keep going to the V100 $399 model, because nobody should spend extra $100 to get the distressed model. So the $400 guitar, the V100, is going to be a great buy. It's a great guitar for that price. If you're considering like a Xavier or Agile, definitely give this guy a shot. It is a damn nice guitar. And I don't, you know, this, I'm going to do another video with this guitar later, so hopefully, you know, I can get it, by that time, get the whole pickups changed out and all that. So that's pretty much what's going on with this guitar. I have a new website up, guitargearguy.com, so go check that out. And even though I don't have the gallery fully done, I got some pictures there already. If you like what you see, then please subscribe. But I'm not gonna you know, force that on you guys. Do comment. I try to you know, answer every comment, you know, I possibly can. What else? And then also, I talked to you guys about the new website, and lately a lot of you have been asking me if I'm honored. I'm quite honored. A lot of you are asking to chat with me, so I'm available on Skype under Guitar Gear Guy. So you can find me there if you want to chat. And what else? That about it. This will be one of my last cheap guitars, because I'm trying to put money together to buy this one guitar that I really want, but it's really expensive. So until then, I might not have, you know, quite as many guitars to show you guys. Like I said earlier, I buy everything that I own, so it's going to be a long haul, right? So that about it for this edition. Until next time, you guys take care.